Said I'm about to make history. Said I'm about to make history. Yeah. What's good, my people? We here with a new episode of Black History Year, and let's get right into it, man. The Tuskegee experiment began in 1932, at a time when there was no known treatment for syphilis, which was a contagious venereal disease. After being recruited by the promise of free medical care, 600 African American men in Macon County, Alabama were enrolled in a project which aimed to study the full progression of the disease. The participants were primarily sharecroppers, and many had never before visited a doctor. Doctors from the Public Health Service, which was running the study, informed the participants, which were 399 men with latent syphilis and a control group of 201 others who were free of the disease, that they were being treated for bad blood, which was a term commonly used in the area at the time to refer to a variety of different ailments. The men were monitored by health workers but only given placebos such as aspirin and mineral supplements, despite the fact that penicillin became the recommended treatment for syphilis in 1947, which was like 15 years into the study. The researchers convinced local physicians in Macon County not to treat the participants, and instead research was done at the Tuskegee Institute. Side note, this is now Tuskegee University, which was the school founded in 1881 with Booker T. Washington being its first teacher. In order to track the disease's full progression, researchers provided no effective care as the men died, went blind or insane, or experienced other severe health problems due to their untreated syphilis. Whoa. Nah, this is pissing me off now. Like, there's no way they were just letting folks die and go blind just for the damn experiment. Come on, man. In the mid-1960s, a PHS venereal disease investigator in San Francisco named Peter Buxton found out about the Tuskegee study and expressed his concerns to his superiors that it was unethical. In response, PHS officials formed a committee to review the study, but ultimately opted to continue it, with the goal of tracking the participants until all had died. Autopsies were performed and the project data could be analyzed. Buxton then leaked the story to a reporter friend who passed it on to a fellow reporter, Gene Heller of the Associated Press. Heller broke the story in July 1972, prompting public outrage and forcing the study to finally shut down. By that time, though, 28 participants had perished from syphilis, 100 more had passed away from related complications, and at least 40 spouses had been diagnosed with it, and the disease had been passed to 19 children at birth. In 1973, Congress held hearings on the Tuskegee Experiments, and the following year, the study's surviving participants, along with the heirs of those who died, received $10 million of an out-of-court settlement. Additionally, new guidelines were issued to protect human subjects in the US government-funded research projects. As a result of the Tuskegee experiment, many African Americans developed lingering, deep mistrust of the public health officials and vaccines. In part to foster racial healing, President Bill Clinton issued a 1997 apology stating, "The United States government did something that was wrong, deeply, profoundly, morally wrong. It is not only in remembering that shameful past that we can make amends and repair our nation, but it is in remembering that past that we can build a better present and better future." Right. During his apology, Clinton announced plans for the establishment of Tuskegee University's National Center of Bioethics and Research in Healthcare. The final study participant passed away in 2004. Now, Tuskegee wasn't the first unethical syphilis study. In 2010, Then President Barack Obama and other federal officials apologized for another US-sponsored experiment conducted decades earlier in Guatemala. In that study, from 1946 to 1948, nearly 700 men and women, prisoners, soldiers, mental patients were intentionally infected with syphilis, and hundreds more people were exposed to other sexually transmitted diseases as part of the study. And this was all without their knowledge or consent. And the purpose of that study was to determine whether penicillin could prevent, not just cure, syphilis infections. Some of those who became infected never received medical treatment. The results of the study, which took place with the cooperation of Guatemalan government officials, were never even published. The American public health researcher in charge of the project, Dr. John Cutler, went on to become a lead researcher in the Tuskegee Experiments. Following Cutler's death in 2003, historian Susan Reverby uncovered the records of the Gualamala Experiments while doing research related to the Tuskegee study. She shared her findings with the US government officials in 2010. Soon after that, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and Secretary of Health and Human Services Kathleen Sebelius issued an apology for the STD study, and President Obama called the Guatemalan president to apologize for the experiments. And that's going to do it for this episode, my people. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm going to see y'all in the next one.
Future looking like the sun when you
I think it's right.